And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that break because we have returned with the second half of tonight's broadcast. We just wrapped up with Mixu versus Trigger alongside Reynor versus Scarlet, and now we have returned with a different matchup, finally featuring a Terran player, a TVZ between HeRoMaRinE and Reynor. Here we go. The TVZs are upon us, and I am excited to sink my teeth into it. One of my favorite matchups to watch, to cast. It's amazing, it's beautiful, as long as mech isn't involved. And I bring this up because HeRoMaRinE did play mech against Scarlet earlier in this group. Will he do it against Reynor as well? I'm curious. I'm curious if he'll embrace the Mass Cyclone or if he does play a more traditional form of Terran versus Zerg. I'm curious, I'm nervous, I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what to be expected here as we're loading in. Game 1 going to be on Hardlead. Let's go. Hardlead, of course, being a much smaller map, a lot of aggression can be applied here. We have seen in recent times a lot of late game, to be fair, on Hardlead. We've seen a lot of split map scenarios, but we'll get to that point as we're getting into game number 1 of this fresh series. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Hardlead, we have our Italian Zerg player representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Red Terran representing Maus from the land of Germany. It is HeRoMaRinE. We go. Again, Big Gabe HeRoMaRinE has been among the upper echelons of European Terran for a very long time, very long time, been top 2 or / top 3 in recent times as well. Has been amazing, and yeah, we've also seen him succeed even amongst some of the higher tier of Protoss and Zergs out there as well. What I will say is that from my understanding, it feels like HeRoMaRinE is very, do I want to say experimental? He has a lot of variety. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. He has a lot of variety with his builds, with his play styles. He can be very fluid and very flexible with what he brings to the table and how he plays in a lot of these matchups. So again, I'm really curious to see how he does approach this TVZ and how he approaches Reynor in general. We may see a standard macro game, that's true, but I'm really expecting a little bit more flair out of HeRoMaRinE. We'll see. That's going to be the case. We shall see. The biggest of the... Oh, he's so big, Papi. Oh my god. Let's go. So now it's going to be a Rax Expand standard economic opener here out of HeRoMaRinE. Likewise across the map, Hash Gas Pool from Reynor as well. Nothing too out of the norm yet. Nothing too crazy. Again, this was the start of December. This could have been before Reynor really latched onto 15-15s. I'm curious if he does go for a 15 hatch opener later on in this series, as he's quite fond of it against Terran in current era, in current StarCraft. Behind this, we're going to be getting into our follow-ups. We can see our factory already on the way. We're not rushing into a second Rax, for example. And HeRoMaRinE is also not quite embracing the 2x Reaper opener either. He has done it before. He has whipped out the beyond special of 2x Reaper even into 3x, but not opting to go for it here in game number 1, as the Reaper does get across the map, does threaten the mineral line, does force out a couple of these spore crawlers. Doesn't get much else. Ooh, as the Reaper gets very low here, one shot away from going down, but will manage to escape, will manage to slip away. Behind this, a third CC has been thrown down. It's going to be 3 CC before Starport, a very economic opener, a very economic build from HeRoMaRinE. He does get eyes on the third base. Again, HeRoMaRinE, he wasn't quite able to kill anything, did force out some spore crawlers, but not much else here. A good defense by Reynor. Good defense overall. Back across the map, we do have an add-on slot being set up. We have the Rax alongside the Starport. We should be seeing a tech lab on this Rax and an add-on swap as well for Banshee production. It's looking to be 3cc Banshee, but we'll keep an eye on Big Gabe. We'll keep an eye on HeRoMaRinE. And there it is. Tech lab is in production. So far, really stock standard play from our Terran. Okay, we should be getting into our add-on swap as well. There we go, Starport with that Rax. into Banshee. So this is as meta can be, to be honest. I know that getting into this, I was like, no, yeah, we should be seeing some spice, might be something different. For now, anything but. It's this is, yeah, standard as ZvT can get here, but we'll see if HeRoMaRinE can get damage done. Again, there's a reason why this is the standard. It's a very safe way to play. If Reynor were to open up roaches, which he has done in the past and has been relatively fond of here in this matchup, then something like a Banshee-based opener can be very, very useful to you to help defend, to help counteract. Something like roaches help get you into the mid-game and shut down a lot of the aggression from the Zerg player. Likewise, also a good way to harass and get some scouting information as well. Speaking of scouting, Overlord goes in, and Reynor, he sees everything. He does confirm the 111, he confirms the 3CC, confirms the cloak that's being researched on the tech lab as well. So Reynor, he's fully aware of everything that HeRoMaRinE is going for. He's going to be able to drone up and, of course, tech up alongside it. Hellions threaten to dive, and this is what I was waiting. Oh, let's go. So I mentioned before, HeRoMaRinE, he did go Mass Cyclone. He did play Mech against Scarlet to great success, and we can see a second factory. So this is more along the lines of what I was getting at here, is that things were opening up standard, but from 3CC Banshee, we're getting into Mech. We have 2 more factories on the way. We are embracing the Cyclone. Let's go. Initially, we have Banshees that are going to be moving out for map control. Hellions going to be applying pressure. Reynor doesn't see what's going on, but if he was watching, if he was aware of the Scarlet series, then this could be in the back of his mind. So the mech could be in the back of his mind here, as Big Gabe has already whipped it out today. Or whipped it out in this tournament. Queen's going to be going down. We do pick off 2. Good pickoffs. 2 queens do go down. Banshee's back off. We have Hyperflight Rotors in production. Hellion production continuing on as well. No Cyclones for the time being. But there we go. The Cyclone production has now finally commenced. Should be working towards Hurricane Thrusters and building up this mech composition. Now, what is scary, the scariest thing right now is just that Reynor hasn't confirmed this. He doesn't know. Because he doesn't know, he's getting into Ling Bane. Ling Bane Queen. No roaches, no hydras. Both could be viable options here against this kind of army. And there it is. Hurricane Thrusters on the way. +1 carapace. This tells us that he thinks it's fire. It's a 1-1 into a lair, of course, into a Bailey Nest. There it is, into Hydra. So Ling Bane Hydra going to be the composition for Reynor. Ling Bane Hydra can work against mech. Against battle mech specifically. But we're looking for surrounds. We're looking for big engagements. As we clear up so much of this creep. Oh my god. And basically, yeah, there we go. The Cyclones reveal themselves. I was going to say, based on how many Hellions there are, we should be able to piece together that it is going to be mech. So Reynor now knows. He does confirm. Queen's pushing on forward. We do focus on some of those Hellions. Oh, and at the same time, a massive link counter-attack here at the 3rd base location. Reynor catching HeRoMaRinE out of position. Gets 10 SCVs. Does cripple the economy. Does even catch... Oh, does try to catch a Cyclone. Unable to, though. Cyclones, they're gaining more ground across the map. They catch another Queen. Chance is barely keeping this army alive. The Queens are barely holding on. Banshees, they go straight for the Bailings. They go for the Hydras, they go for the Bailings. Banshees wreaking havoc here. And the Cyclone reinforcements, they have arrived. HeRoMaRinE is pushing through. He's trying to break on through. Bailings are barely holding on. Bailing speed just now finishes. Does finish up. But good kiting out of HeRoMaRinE. He shuts down every single Bailing. They will not connect. And now these Queens are looking that much more vulnerable. The Queens, the hatchery. Yeah, HeRoMaRinE is snowballing out of control. Every single Queen is going to be falling. The Hydras, they come in from behind. But good positioning out of HeRoMaRinE. He does pull back. When he cleans up a lot of those Hydras. And is this becoming too much? Oh. This may just be too much here. Oh, good Bailey connections. A lot of Cyclones do go down. Oh god, but the Hydras are exposed. Expensive losses here for Reynor. Not as much for HeRoMaRinE, as he does trade very well. Now, the hatchery does survive. Barely. HeRoMaRinE does retreat for the time being. He's waiting for reinforcements. Here, Reynor, he has a little bit of room to breathe. But the army, it arrives once again. Now we catch out the queens. Hydras do still pose a threat. Reynor, he's remaxing slowly but surely, building up that link count once again. Yeah, HeRoMaRinE, if he hadn't taken those banelings to the face earlier, I do think he would have been able to break through, but he barely hasn't been able to. HeRoMaRinE is losing control of this game, losing control of this map. Reynor is stabilizing. He's on 71 workers, an okay worker count. And because HeRoMaRinE has lost so many Cyclones, he lost 17 Cyclones, I kind of like the idea of HeRoMaRinE backing off and going into tank production. I don't know if we can really build up a death ball of a Cyclone army anymore, just because we have been slowed down. We're going to try, though. We are going to try. As Gabe rotates around, catches an Overlord, catches a Queen. Ooh, may even catch a base. Oh, good. As the hatchery is getting low, but we do have Reynor coming in for a full surround. Yeah, big catch here on these Cyclones. Expensive losses here for HeRoMaRinE, as every single Cyclone going to be going down. And this was not worth it for Big Gabe. Now he starts tank production. Again, I do think we needed this a little bit sooner, but again, tanks are on the way. HeRoMaRinE is transitioning out of a more mobile army into a more stationary army. And Reynor, he survived. Reynor, he has survived the worst of it. He retained most of his drones. He retained his bases. And Reynor, he's going to be able to just, yeah, get up to 90 workers and max out. So Reynor looking to be in a pretty good position right now. As long as he doesn't lose the base. As long as he doesn't lose the hatchery here, he should be fine. Does keep up, does zone away the Terran. Meanwhile, again, we're just getting to Hellion tank instead. We're going to be walling up, and we're in for a long one. Again, HeRoMaRinE should just be turtling from this point. And Reynor is just gaining map control, shutting down these rocks. Rocks are being knocked down. Ooh, that was potentially a kill on that hatchery. Ay, ay, ay. Good pick up there from HeRoMaRinE. Lings are trying to engage. A lot of Lings are going down, and I'm not really feeling this fight here for Reynor. He's getting caught out. A very rough fight here. The Lings go down, the Banelings go down, the Hydras as well. A massive fight for HeRoMaRinE. Reynor, big overextension. And he's going to be losing everything here. Every single Hydra going to be going down. The tanks are sieged. GG gets called. And HeRoMaRinE takes game number 1. GG. Reynor, he was stabilizing. He was holding on. He was on 90 workers. He was in the middle of maxing out. But Reynor takes a brutal fight. A really rough fight there out in the open. Gets caught out. And things very quickly escalate in favor of Big Gabe. GG, well played. I was concerned that the game was going to slow down. I was concerned that the game was going to slow down. We were going to wall up and just split the map in half. But again, Reynor, he was just a little bit too cavalier there. A little bit too cavalier, a little bit too overzealous. Did lead to the game ending a little bit abruptly there. As he just lost so much so quickly. GG, well played. And with that, HeRoMaRinE is now leading the series 1-0. Uno más. One more is all he needs. Reynor needs to fight back here and now. And the question becomes, does Big Gabe whip out the Mass Cyclone 2 games in a row? Does he do it again? That is the question. Oh boy. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alcyone, we have our Italian Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing Basilisk. Down in the series, looking to fight back. It is Reynor. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the German Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Mouse, leading the series 1-0. It is HeRoMaRinE. Here we go. So we are just going to be settling on into this so far. We'll see. I mean, so far everything's going to be standard. Remember, kind of winding it back here, HeRoMaRinE did go for a pretty standard opener. As in game 1, he went for a Rax expand into a 3rd CC into Banshee play before going into mech. Here we do have HeRoMaRinE instead going for a CC first, a very cheeky opener, very greedy. But these openers are a lot more commonplace specifically on this map. The reason for this, for the CC first, is because Alcyone has the second longest rush distance. It is the second longest rush distance map in the map pool, second only to Raditz Station. So CC first is viable on both this map and Raditz Station. You can be greedy, you can cut corners, and it is that much more difficult to punish. And I don't really think HeRoMaRinE is going to be punished for this. So yeah, just a really cheeky opener. Should get away with it. Ooh, oh my god! Oh, I'm getting some Beyond flashbacks, not like this. HeRoMaRinE being crazy is going CC first, interacts into CC before Factory. Fun fact, if you were here for it, we casted ESL Open Cup Americas, I want to say 3 weeks ago, after ESL Masters Winter. We casted ESL Americas, and we casted Reynor versus Beyond on this map, on Alcyone, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And Beyond did the same thing. He went CC first, into Rax, into 3rd CC, into double eBay. Hyper greed out of Beyond, and Reynor played standard, and Beyond snowballed out of control, and he clowned all over Reynor. It was crazy how Beyond played that series. He was hyper greedy on Alcyone, and then I think he just cheesed in the next game. And just went all, he went for a 2-base all in the next game, just really playing with his opponent. And yeah, Beyond was able to get away with it. I'm concerned that that's going to happen here. I'm concerned that history will repeat itself as HeRoMaRinE is just being as greedy as possible. We'll see if he also goes double eBay as well before Factory. Behind this, Reynor's just chilling, going hatch gas pool. He has no idea what's going on. He does see the timing of the CC, so he's aware of at least the CC first, but he isn't aware of just the timing of the 3rd base either. Factory now on the way. So HeRoMaRinE, he isn't being as greedy as Beyond. He isn't going double eBay before Factory, thankfully. Oh my god. And we see why we're not going double eBay. Oh my god, this is wild. CC first into 3rd CC before Factory into double Factory mech. The Cyclones are coming 3 factories at a time. We have nothing, by the way. We have 4 Marines. That's our army. If Reynor had gone for a Bane bust, if he had gone for a Roach Rush, HeRoMaRinE would just be dead. He would have, like, there's no scout. HeRoMaRinE, he skipped his Reaper. 0 scouting information, 0 vision whatsoever. HeRoMaRinE goes for just one of the greediest builds you can go for. 4 vanilla Marines is all he had to his name, and he gets away with it. And Reynor has no idea. He's chilling, just droning, just spreading his creep. He didn't really confirm what his opponent was doing, so he didn't know that he could punish his opponent. And as a result, HeRoMaRinE is getting away with it. He's getting up to, what is this, 5 factories. Jesus. 5 factory production. HeRoMaRinE, he has gotten away with murder. Reynor behind this, going for a lair first. Very safe play. So Reynor, he's going for a lair opener, which is going to be leading into a faster baling nest, which is going to be leading into faster baling speed. So really safe play out of Reynor. There's that baling nest we spoke about. Delayed upgrades, delayed tech. And Reynor, this safe opener isn't really going to be too applicable. Basically, this build from Reynor keeps you safe against Hellbat pushes. Big Ling scouts Reynor, he sees everything, and he sees and he confirms the mass factory. Reynor now knows what's going on. He's now aware, but can he do anything about it? That is the question. And how will Reynor respond? Will we go into Roach Ravager? Will we respond with Hydras again? Hydras are viable against Battle Mech. But against how greedy HeRoMaRinE has been, I'm not too sure. And here we go. We are pushing. Again, because of the build of Reynor, we have to focus and prioritize bailing speed. That's all we have. So bailing speed is on the way. And we have to defend with Ling Queen. With purely Lings and Queens, we have to try to hold on. Lings getting ready for potentially a surround. Yeah, they're coming in from behind. We have a mass surround being set up. Reynor with a massive catch. A big engagement in Reynor. He swallows up the army. He cleans everything up. A big moment here at the same time. A big Ling counterattack. 8 SCVs go down. Reynor, a really good moment for him. Despite the greed of his opponent, he does punish HeRoMaRinE. And this will even things up. That's the scary thing here. Is that HeRoMaRinE was ahead. And everything that just happened, cleaning up all those Cyclones, getting 8 SCVs, that is enough to try to stabilize. HeRoMaRinE is still ahead in economy. He's still up in SCVs plus mules. HeRoMaRinE is making 9 Cyclones at a time. Oh my god. Just making mass Cyclone behind this. HeRoMaRinE, he still poses a threat, but Reynor, he's, again, evening things up. He's stabilizing. Not quite there yet, but he's on the way. 4th base in production. More Lings, more Bailings. Bailing speed does kick in. Drew rolling forward. And can we connect with the Cyclones? That's a lot of Cyclones, though. That's the problem here. Ling Bane going to be crashing on forward. Good kiting here by HeRoMaRinE. Good positioning here on top of the ramp as well. The Bailings, they do crash on forward, but the Cyclones, they clean everything up. The Lings are going down. We do get 14 SCVs. But what about the main army? What about the mass Cyclone? Because we are triggering a counterattack. Reynor's droning! No shot. Reynor, he's droning. He doesn't have an army. Doesn't have much of an army. And HeRoMaRinE, he's pushing. He's moving out. We have how many Lings? 17 Lings against 18 Cyclones. There are more Cyclones than there are Lings right now. And we are pushing. Oh, let this thing run by. We do get into the natural. We're getting a lot of economic damage done. But I don't think we care. We get 13 SCVs. The economy has been crippled. It's almost non-existent. But HeRoMaRinE, he does not back down. He keeps on pushing. He still has a death bull of an army. And kiting against all these Bailings off of creep. It's brutal. So many Bailings go down. We push on forward. Creep is receding. This 4th hatchery is going to be falling. There's no saving it. Not with what Reynor has. Hatchery will fall. Reynor is going for a counterattack. He does try to catch reinforcements, but he gets caught out instead. We have 23 Cyclones. And Reynor, he's just not ready for this. 0-0 upgrades for Reynor. Trying to go for a surround. He will collapse on top of these Cyclones. Good bailing connections. The best bailing connections he could have hoped for, but it's still too much. And HeRoMaRinE, he's overwhelming Reynor here with just pure Cyclone. Every Queen goes down. The Lings, the Bailings, GG gets called, and HeRoMaRinE will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Cyclones, they're all you need, Bappy. They're all you need. To be fair, there was a lot that came into this. There was a lot that did come into this series here. Into this game especially. HeRoMaRinE got away with so much greed. He went CC first into a 3rd base before factory into 5 factory production. It was wild. On top of that, the opener of Reynor was really rough. If you remember, Reynor opened up very safely. He went hatch gas pool into a 3rd, which was normal, but he went lair first. He went lair first into a Baneling nest. This is a way to play safely against someone who's being aggressive or someone who you think is being aggressive. When really, if you remember, HeRoMaRinE was being greedy. And because of that, HeRoMaRinE, he got away with his build. He got away with so much greed in the early game, facilitating for all those Cyclones. Reynor couldn't punish him. And by the time he was, remember, he was crippling the economy, but he could not touch the army. He could not deal with the Cyclones. Not anymore. GG, well played. A solid performance there out of HeRoMaRinE. And Reynor just caught out a little bit too much there. Was in the dark as to what HeRoMaRinE was doing and was taken advantage of, both in game 1 and in game 2. And with that, Big Gabe does take the 2-0. Honestly, a really strong performance. Really strong performance here by Big Gabe in this group. And from here, we're going to be getting into some of the other matchups we have available. I believe HeRoMaRinE is going to be coming out first in his group, undefeated. Reynor, I believe, his only blemish on his record is his series here against HeRoMaRinE, so Reynor is going to be coming out second. But we still have some more matches ahead of us, and we're going to be featuring some of our other players. We're going to be featuring Mixu versus Hydra. Let's go.